Right, there's two very popular questions that I get asked all the time. I'm going to do them both in hopefully 3 minutes. So strap yourself in, we'll dive into it. Now, the first one is, if you have a tailored suit with working buttons, should you leave one unfastened? The second one is, how many buttons of your waistcoat should you fasten up? So, working buttons. A tailored suit tends to be the only type of suit you can get that has working buttons. And by working buttons, I literally mean ones that will fasten and unfasten. So in the olden days, these were called surgeon's cuffs. They still are called surgeon's cuffs. The unfastening of all the buttons would allow the surgeon to roll his sleeves up and perform surgery without taking his jacket off. That's a surgeon's cuff. These days, because surgeons don't wear jackets in their operating theatre, there's no need for the surgeon's cuff. So why would you leave a button unfastened? Well, most suits do not have working buttons. Therefore, when yours does, it is a sign that it is tailor-made. So if you leave a button unfastened and people notice it, bear in mind, we don't have designer labels that tell people how expensive your suit was. So when you have a working button unfastened, people will say, oh, do you know you've left your button unfastened? And you say, oh yes, yes, that's intentional. That's because it's a tailor-made suit and that's how we wear them. It's very pretentious, but that is the reason. It's to let people know that your suit has been tailor-made and is not bought off the peg. If that's your thing, leave your button unfastened. If it is not, then fasten it up. I prefer to leave mine fastened and to let the cut of the suit do the talking for it. Anyway, so second thing is, should you leave the bottom button of your waistcoat unfastened? The convention here goes back to the early 20th century at the court of King Edward VII. King Edward VII was a rather large monarch. He got too big for his tailor-made suits. Unable to fasten his bottom button, he left it unfastened. So people at his court and in wider society started to do the same thing so that the king wouldn't feel embarrassed. It's like the emperor's new clothes. The king's doing it, therefore that's what we should all do. Now, people still observe this tradition, and for absolutely no reason, because it goes back over 100 years. So I simply take the view, I know why people do that, but I choose not to, because I don't think it looks very good. I fasten it up because that gives a more flattering appearance for the suit and for the body, and it's as simple as that. If it looks better, do it that way. If it's for practical reasons that you leave it unfastened because when you sit down it makes it more comfortable, then leave it unfastened. It's up to you. But my tip is simply this: learn the rules and decide for yourself whether you're going to ignore them. People will always try to claim sartorial one-upmanship by quoting the rules to you. If you can demonstrate that you know the rules better than they do and come back to them with a good reason as to why you ignore the rules, that is a point to you. So I hope you've enjoyed this brief look at why you should or should not leave your buttons fastened or unfastened, and next time we'll be back to subtying some ties. So until then, take care, have a good day, I'll see you soon.